Good morning, and welcome to this rather soggy start to July. Hi, Manuela. Hello, Sarma and Sandy. So, Paluna, what, you don't do water today? No? Maybe you already did water and then you came and rushed here? I don't know. Good morning, Judy. Hello, De La Rosa, Anita, and Shirley. Love to see you all here this morning. I'm going to close out this window. So I'm just going to apologize now for last Wednesday's class. I think the person hosting thought when I was away getting my book and my singing bowl ready that I was done, so she closed out the class. So if you were in Shavasana last Wednesday and just stayed there all day and went to sleep, sorry about that. But anyway, I was close enough. You just didn't get your saying, and you will get it today for this first day of July. And then you notice I have a little back by the fireplace for you. And I'm sorry, but I'm just wearing sweats today. So there's that. You might want a strap, a towel, or a tie like I use. Hubby's old tie. Hubby is joining us today. Say good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Ken.
So today we're going to be working on opening and opening. So part of it will be using the chair, grabbing your foot, either pulling it back, or doing the opposite foot, or using a strap around. So just previewing things you might want to do. We'll be doing a pigeon pose only for some of you, where you put your foot up on the chair and bring the other foot back, but you don't have to do that. You can do a mock. So going to be using the chair, which we know is really not that stable. I feel like my thing is crooked here, so let me give you one more little shift. That seems better. Okay. So let's come to our SJCCtv. Just come to the moment. Go ahead, take a seat. Have a seat. But do sit toward the front of your chair. Oh, hold on, I have to make one more adjustment. There we go.
Audio?
Yes, I fixed the audio. So that should make the music sound better. So rooting the feet, engaging your legs, addressing your pelvic floor, mula bandha, so that energy draws up, lower belly, pressing in, heart lifting up, shoulders settle down, crown of the head toward the sky, and your glasses are off for me. Fingers reach actively to the earth, so traditionally the palms are in, but a lot of people like the palms forward. It shouldn't make any difference to your shoulders, but if you feel it opens you up a little more, certainly do it. So check in with your breath. Just see if it's available. If not, use your mouth, but generally in and out through the nose. Kind of take in all of yourself, inside and outside. And if you're familiar with the Ujjayi breathing, the swirling of the air passing through your throat as if you're saying a sound with your mouth closed. I call it my Darth Vader breath. Just find that connectivity with your breath. Allow it to be your centering. And then float the arms halfway out to the side. Feel that you're reaching beyond yourself. And when you exhale, join the palms together, and we'll bow the head. So we'll place the hands on the thighs and do the pressing of the palms down the thighs, and then the lifting of the palms and drawing back like you're tickling yourself on the exhale. Inhale. So pushing down, exhale. And then when you draw back up, inhale. Just tying your movement and your breath together. Let your yoga practice occupy all of your attention. Let it occupy your sensations, your breath, all of your thoughts are right here, right now. And then move the hands around the knees, kind of bringing a little warmth to those joints, a little warmth to your hands. In case you turned your heater off for the summer. Then you're going to lean back into the chair and capture your right leg so you can hold behind or in front. And if you're not out far enough, you might want to scoot a little further out. So when you lean back, you've got a little bit of leaning into. So I'm going to hold my leg up and just begin bringing a little warmth down below to my feet. So the ankles are circling. Again, you can hold this way. If your leg doesn't come up as high as mine, it's okay. It's just wherever. And you tune into the breath. You be aware of the shoulders not hiking up. And then you go the other way if you haven't already. And I know some of you do this in shoes, but maybe you're at home doing it in your bare feet. But include the toes, your phalanges. And then slowly, mindfully, let go of the leg, let it come down. I'm still leaning back, and then draw the other leg up, holding behind or in front, wherever you choose, and then making that ankle circle around. Relax the shoulders, tune into your breath, and go the other way. So I'm holding in front, and I can feel muscles working. It's very cool. So moving our ankles is very good for our balance. It helps us when we meet unstable surfaces. And then slowly release that leg and let it come down. Now open the arms out to the side as you lift your heart up and lean forward to find the back edges of your chair. Not too high, not too low, just somewhere where you can grab the edges. And then push on the chair with your hands. Your elbows should straighten and help bring you into a nice upright position. So depending on your chair, but most chairs can get you to here. So that feels so lovely. I have a lot of gardening back, and this kind of takes the pressure off. And this is what we want to retain when we're doing our standing balance poses or just about anything else. So go ahead, extend your right leg out. You should be toward the front of the chair, making the straight leg easy. I'm going to turn on the diagonal so that you can see a little easy. And it doesn't matter. I think I may have said right leg, but if it's your left leg, we're going to do the other one anyway. So I'm going to hold that upright feeling so I don't feel the load in my back. Super tightly hold your belly in while you're breathing, and then place the hands on your thighs. And I call this undulations. So you see my hand is kind of making this wave or ripple. So my heart will go forward just a little, tighten the belly, and draw myself back. So the breath in is as I lean forward. And then when I tighten my belly, I roll back. Now some of you will go further and some of you not so far, but I'm kind of creeping up on mine. So I'm going a little bit further, tighten the belly, and roll myself back. So we are hinging from our hips rather than rounding. And being mindful to your own sensations. And then the next time I'm going to pause in that forward hinge, Uttanasana. My hands support the back, so I feel no pull in my back. And I firmly hold my belly, and I should feel the back of my hamstring. Now if you can go a little further, feel free. Some of us need to be mindful of blood pressure. If you do take the blood pressure medicine and your head goes below your heart for too long, it takes a while for the heart to pump it back up to the brain, so you might get a little lightheaded. Tighten the belly and draw yourself back up, and then bring that leg back that you were using, put the other leg back. Can we reassess the lifting of the spine? Thank you. And then bringing the hands on the thigh, and then we'll do that undulation. Isn't that a lovely word? Undulation. Tightening through the belly. So I'm already cultivating a sense of opening myself as I go forward. Forward being wherever. Using your breath to facilitate the pace. So if we're going at the same time, that's fine. And if we're not, make your own way. Tightening the belly And the next one I'm going to go and stay a while. So leading with my heart, hinging forward in Uttanasana, looking outward, sinking, feeling gracious to my hamstrings. So tight hamstrings are a bugaboo for many people. They restrict us in many other avenues. So this is something you might want to include a little bit every day, like when you're brushing your teeth. Tighten the belly and roll yourself back up. And then we'll go a little bit on the upper body. So we'll let the lower body rest, excuse me, as I come to sit. And so you can use the chair. If you put your hands behind the chair, this will make things a little more intense for your shoulders. But if you just end up by your side or leaving on your lap, that's fine. So you want to sit nice and tall, put your head on straight. I love saying that because it does tend to fall forward with life activities. So you put your head on straight. We'll just begin that turning of the head slowly from one side to the other side. This always lets you know how you slept last night. So if you slept rather well, there might be some kinks or some tightness in your neck that you're feeling. Good morning, Hunter. Would you like to join us today? And then end up with your face center. And this is the one where we lower ear towards shoulder. And we'll do it a few times, then we're going to stay with it. And this is where having your hands back here might make a difference. So you're going to drop your ear from side to side. And notice what your body might do. If you're very tight there, your body may say, oh, let me help you. And you want to hold the shoulder on the opposing side that you're leaning to stay down. So you can kind of feel things pulling, and they may be a little tight, and it may be more available on one side than the other. So next time your head falls towards your right shoulder, leave it there. And then for those of you who say, I could use a little more, Karen, take that left hand behind the chair or behind your back if you're sitting toward the front. And just feel how that offers a little more. Maybe you don't, so just see how it goes. Stay nice and tall, be mindful of the bandhas. Turning your chin toward that right shoulder and looking downward toward the floor, getting an opening down those upper traps. So from the neck down across the upper shoulders. Again, you may favor a hand behind the back or all the way around the chair. Head is feeling weighted, heavy. Look to the floor. And then drawing your chin towards your chest, not forcing it, especially if you haven't been up very long. So just feeling that stretching on both sides of the upper traps. And slowly draw yourself up to come nice and tall. So we can do the other side. So you're back nice and tall, left ear falls. Make sure you're not leaning over with that head. It's just the head, so it may go as far or not. Options for hand to go behind on the right arm. Attentive to your breath and the sensations that you're feeling. And the breath. And as you slowly move your chin toward the left shoulder, looking down to the side of your body and toward the floor. Oh, you feel that. Yes, I do. Slowly moving your chin towards your chest and letting it hang there for a moment. You can almost feel how your body is putting things back together, yes? Pelvic floor, lower belly when you're looking down, and then go ahead and bring your head up nice and tall. Present the palms upward toward me or forward from you. Relax those shoulders because they may do this. We already just got them all loosened up. So now we're going to go to the front and the back of the shoulder. So as my thumbs are going back, as far back as they can, and if you bump into your chair, scoot out. And then when you exhale, round the hands, bring the tips of your fingers together, bow the head again, and round the back. So as you inhale, opening, and as you exhale, rounding. So go ahead and do that a few times. I'm going to shed one of my layers because I'm getting a little warm. The inhale is as you open the arms. The exhale is as you tighten the belly and round over. And then end up open. And then you're going to bend the elbows like a cactus. So the right fingers will point down. So you're going to feel even more pull in that anterior U2. And then switch. So right now you're ascertaining, does this feel the same on both? Do I have the same range of motion? I didn't see if Katrin was here today, but she should be improving her range of motion with the shoulder issue, or any of us. So you're just exploring, where am I pain-free? So it's like your elbows are pinned against a wall, and the only motion you can do is at the elbow. And we'll do one more, and then put both of your hands on each of your shoulders, and then begin circles, which you'll probably enjoy. And then going the other way. So I'm going to do just a little leaning in the chair before I stand up. We're going to move to a leaning, balance, standing one, but we'll have something you can come back down to if you just think the chair is a better option for you. Pelvic floor, Uddiyana action, lift your chest. So leaning over so your right buttock cheek lifts a little. So just leaning over, feeling precariously perched. It's a big curve here. So you should feel muscles trying to hold you from falling out of your chair. Please breathe. Now turn and look to that right side. Extend out your right arm. And if able, release your left arm so both arms are out to the side. Yes? And breathe. Reach through the tips of the fingers. There's things working here. Return back center and relax the arms. So I felt a lot of work through my core, and if you did, that was what was happening there. Otherwise, you're going to fall out of the chair. All right, so I'm doing the same thing, sitting nice and tall, shifting over. Careful, if I fall out, I will land on you. And then my left buttock cheek has lifted. And I'm breathing, and I'm not leaning forward because I'm staying open. I'm now going to turn and look over to the left, and then extend my left arm as if someone is going to keep me from falling over. Help me, help me. Be aware of your bandhas as you now open out that right arm, adding a little weight to this challenge as you breathe. You make of it what you can. Shoulders are relaxed. And tip yourself back and relax your arms. So we're going to stand and sit and stand and sit. We're going to come up to chair pose and go back down sitting in the chair. So I know for some of you, you're going to need to keep in contact with the chair because nobody wants to miss the chair when they sit down. And some of you will need your hands on your thighs to lend a little support to getting out of the chair. Some of you will not need your arms and can extend them forward. So I'm going to turn sideways. I think it makes it a little more clear what I'm asking, but you can sit forward. So tomorrow I'm having my annual physical, and I filled out a form. It said, one of the questions was, do you need to use your hands when you get up out of the chair? I said no. So we are cultivating our ability to rise and lower ourselves from seated position. It's good. Oh, don't eat that, Hunter. We'll put this one up here too. Well, clearly that wasn't a good idea. All right, so my feet are placed like normally I would stand in mountain pose, engage your inner thighs. So for those of you who need the chair as you lean forward, use it to help lift your tush off the chair, or your hands on your thighs or your arms are in front. So I'm not sitting. Then my arms will come up, and as my arms come up, my chest comes up. So modified chair pose. Then I will go back, and for some of you, you want to feel the chair, make sure it's there, and you'll land back down. You'll feel the relaxation in your quads, and be careful with the pressure on your knees that your feet aren't too far back. So one of those three options, I'll demonstrate various ones as we go along. As you sit nice and tall, take a breath in. As you exhale, hinge forward and slowly rise from the chair. As you inhale, move to your version of chair pose, Uttanasana, arms higher for those who can. And as you exhale, all the way back down to the chair, but not too fast. Make sure it's there before you release your glute muscles and sit nice and tall. Repeat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lean. And continue all the way up. Inhale, find your version of chair pose, softness through neck and shoulders, work within the parameters available, not putting pressure on knees, loading across all parts of your feet. Exhale all the way back down, feel the chair, and then offload yourself into the chair a couple more times. If you need to just go slower or wait, that's cool. So inhale up tall, exhale, hinge forward. Exhaling more, you lift. Inhaling into chair pose. Exhale, finding the chair and reloading so we don't plop into the chair twice more. Inhale, lift tall. Use your bandage, use your pillow. Exhale forward, release from the chair and move into inhale with chair pose. Imagine the pillow and release and land, and this will be our last one. So once you're up, you're going to stay up. So if you haven't been going up, come on up now. Lift tall, inhale, exhale, go forward. Inhale, lift into chair pose where you will stay in your chair pose. Relax the shoulders. You might feel this in your knees or in your back, so this is why options. Lower the arms, take the pressure off the back, come up a little higher if there's pressure on your knees. Now to come all the way up, we're going to do a body weave. So drop those arms, push the hips, let the arms come from behind, lift the arms as best they can up and over, join the palms together, and float the hands into the heart. Pause for a moment. Make sure blood pressure and everything's good. Always best sit down before you fall down. And then come around to the right side of your chair where I am standing. Standing so that you have the chair available with your hand. So this is available to my hand, but it's not going to do much because it's behind me. It doesn't have to be in front of you, but just somewhere next to it. So this is the leaning one. So you can see we're working through our midsection now. We've kind of woken up our quads. We're now into our, and this you might feel in your hips. So this is one where the hip will push out. So if you have joint replacement, be modest. I mean, we want the range of motion again, but you know, you don't want to pop the joint out of its socket. So as I stand nice and tall and root onto my right leg, go ahead and bend the left foot and turn the knee in toward the chair. So if you're too close, no, scoot out a little bit. So I'm lifting up my tiger in my tank today. Keep your hand on the chair just so you know when we're going to take our foot off the floor, you have some stability. Go ahead, lift that foot up. Feel how you've loaded into that foot and maybe a little bit on your hand. Not a lot, but it's there. Now cross as you're able the ball of the foot down to the floor. Like the Mr. Peanut guy on the peanut jar, this is how he stands. Seriously. Now imagine someone is pulling your pants off to the right, so you can put your hand there and feel that as the hip goes out to the right. Pull the right shoulder back, and rather than collapsing down, feel that you're lengthening, like leaning out of the chair that we did a moment ago, so we'll feel some familiar except for your hip has now been added. For those who want more, turn and look away from the chair. For those who want more than that, extend the right arm out and as able up and toward the chair. So I am now this way. And then crazy people will take the bottom arm off as well. But if you think, oh, I'm not going to do that, you don't have to do that. So this would be the crazy one. This would be pretty crazy. And then the arm away is okay. And then take about 2 breaths. If you took your hand off the chair, you can put it down now. Slowly lift yourself up. Feel how your body puts itself back together. That was a new move, it says. And then lift that foot and stand there. I want you to keep lifting and lifting. So you're not here. Keep lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting. And then bring the knee in front. Drop the foot down. Take the right arm forward. Relax the shoulder. I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back, I'm just straight up. I got a book on my head. If you want, leave your fingertips touching the chair or let it go. Simple 3-point balance. And breathe. And stand like a mountain. So I mindfully bring my feet down. So these are simple balances that will help us when we get to our standing balance with the hand behind us. All right, I'm going to move to the other side of my chair. You can go in front, you can go behind, but don't stub your toe as you wander around to the other side. So I'm rooted down now on my left leg, lifting my chest, bandhas, and all that you would find in a good mountain pose. Go ahead, place your right hand, and then the left hand can just stay on your side. As you root down on the left leg, go ahead, pick the knee up and turn the knee over. So bend the knee and turn it towards your chair. Now the body didn't turn, I just did this with my leg at my hip joint. Pick up the leg and just feel how things are now having to do a little bit more processing. Step it over the standing foot, toes or ball of the foot as your foot allows. Keep lifting up, and now we're going to have someone pull our pants off to the left side. So as I sink my hip out toward the left, without collapsing myself, and lengthen myself off to the right, kind of in that exploratory way. So for me, the other side a whole lot more tight. I'm not feeling the same on this side. So sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's different. Pulling your shoulder back so you can look off. So you know that chair is there, you're kind of creating this curve. Check your bandhas. Find the breath. So moving on, I extend out my left arm. Maybe this is all you want to do. However, for those who would like to explore more, the left arm coming up towards your ear and toward the right side. And then the crazy people will take the bottom arm off the chair. That's a lot, so if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Make sure your arms are as straight can be, and breathe. It's a little wobbly. Find the chair with your right hand if you took it off. Slowly open yourself up. I'm a slow mover. Leave the arm out. Pick your right foot up. Now lift yourself up. Lift yourself up because there's a tendency to start sinking. Pull up, pull up. There you go. Now let the knee draw in front and the foot is hanging below, but have some action in that foot. Reach the arm forward. Now you can leave the left arm in front and the right hand lightly on the chair. That was lightly on the chair. Or if you want to try taking the hand off, if it doesn't work, you can always put it back. So just kind of explore where's stability on this side. Find that internal calm by breathing. And come to stand like a mountain. And you feel that calm coming back to you. So I'm going to stay where I am, but I'm going to turn the back of the chair. Some of you will use the seat of the chair, some of you will just use the back of the chair, and if you'd rather go stand behind it or turn it so you have the hands this way, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do mine on the chair. So this is our downward dog and our crescent pose. So as I am facing the side of the chair, I return to my mountain pose. I either use the seat of the chair or the back of the chair in some form. As I bend the knees and lean a little forward, I put my hands either on the chair, or if I've turned to stand behind the chair, or on the seat of the chair. So my knees are bent, my spine is straight, my belly is pulled up. Pick a leg, any leg, and slide that leg back to the ball of your foot. Keep wiggling and stay on the ball of your back leg. Front knee is bent, hands are on the chair, high or low. Leave one hand on the chair, and whatever foot, whatever leg is in front, bring the other arm forward. Now if you can, push yourself back up, and maybe you want two hands for the crescent pose. So a different kind of balance, and also some opening to the front of our thigh, which is where we're moving next. So I could be here, I could be here. I take a breath. Now I'm going to my downward facing dog. So putting the hands on the back of the chair, so the higher chair is better for wrist, or putting them down on the seat of the chair. Step your feet back, maybe bend the knees, and then straighten the arms. So from the seat of the chair, I don't have a whole lot of weight either. So my elbows are straight and slightly rotated inward rather than bowing out. If you can do this with your legs straight, fine. Do it with your legs straight. Tune into your breath. Be mindful of effects on your blood pressure. Bend the knees, look forward to the back of the chair or the side of the chair. Remember which leg you had in front, and now put the other leg forward. Oh, I didn't warn you about that. Well, you'll know, so I'm going to put my other leg forward, lift up the back heel, wiggle it back. So you're either using the back of the chair, which can make it tip, so be careful. So you get wiggle, 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 go deep, go long, leaning forward will help you to that effect. Whichever leg is in front now, so for me this is my right, means my left arm is going to lift up. So I can use the seat of the chair, I can use the back of the chair. As I bring myself more up, maybe I can take both arms, so I feel that pull in the front of my thigh. My front knee is bent, not past my foot, not behind my foot. I want to feel grounded, so I'm not up here wobbly. I'm centered and calm and breath. And I will move to my downward dog, so bringing both hands to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. Step both feet back appropriately, not together, not apart. Bring the arms straight. Maybe you bend the knees, maybe you keep them straight. As you lift your tailbone toward the sky. So that feels pretty good. So you want to feel the hips are lifting. If I were with you, and ever so bold, I might grab those hips and lift them up a little bit higher. Then bend the knees, look forward, be mindful of blood pressure. This time bring both of your feet forward, and we're going to slowly roll up. So even if you're holding the high side of the chair, drop the head, squeeze the pillow, release your hands, and roll yourself up through your spine. If you need to steady yourself, you can. Oh, that feels so good. And then you put the cherry on the top. So I'm back to my Tadasana. Okay, here's if you want. You want to use your tie, Karen? You can use your tie. I have a towel. Well, I've warmed up quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to give hubby the tie. You remember when Brian made this tie for you? Who knew you'd be using it for yoga? I'm going to use a towel. Or you may not need anything. Some of you may be good with this. So this would be standing bow pose. So traditionally it's done same foot, same hand. You do this and you do this. But if you look at that and go, I don't know, we're going to start with the crossbow, which generally is a little more tricky, but it's easily accessed. So let me give you some options on how to get there. So if you were to not need a towel or a strap, you would face the chair so that you have it for stability. I'm just going to face the side of the chair. You'll bend your knees and lean forward. You would take the opposite leg to the opposite hand. So I can do this. I can grab my foot to my hand. If you can't, maybe you could get your pet leg. And if you can't, maybe then you would take the strap or put it there. Once you have the opposite hand on the opposite foot and you feel like, you know, I'm okay with this, then you're going to lift your chest and kick the foot into the hand or into the towel or into the tie or into the strap. And maybe that's all you're going to do, and then we'll release. So decide what variation is going to be best for you. And if you look at that and say, I don't know about any of those, here's your choice. You can put your knee on the chair as you face the back of the chair. And then take the other hand around to grab the foot. So you see this is my left leg, this is my right hand grabbing my foot or my pant leg. Then I bring the knee back on the chair, lift myself up, and now I'm a lot more stable because my knee is sitting on something. I might even lift my hand. So if that makes you feel more comfortable, I mean it's still risky, it's a chair. So to figure out what you wanted to do, let's progress. All right, I will use the towel. So pick a leg, any leg, as you bend the knees, reach with the opposite arm to that foot, leaning forward, stabilizing yourself, mula bandha. Kick the foot into the hand, the towel, the strap, and lift. So you should feel that arm behind being pulled back. You should, because it's kicking, yes. If you felt confident in your balance, then you would take the opposite arm out. And you usually see this when they're leaning forward. We're not leaning forward. We're going to stay here. I've even seen it done on a log at the beach, but we're not there. Take a breath. As you release, find the chair with your hand first. Let go of the strap. You can just drop the whole thing if you want. And then move your hips in a circle because you're going to feel that work in your back. You're going to feel that opening. Very nice. Shall we go the other side? Yes, we shall. Come on over to the other side for me, maybe behind the chair for you. So again, if you're going to use a strap, make a circle, bend the knees, lean forward, bring the foot across so that you can get the foot in the little circle that you have made, then bring it back behind. And then as you're able, standing up, kick the foot into the strap or into your hand. Feeling confident, you can let go and breathe. We call this the crossbow. And you're breathing. And if you need the chair, use the chair. Go ahead, put your hand down, release, let go, step out, and then do a couple of hulas, because that'll make your back feel better. That was pretty good. How'd you do? Yeah, well, he didn't tip over, and that's always a win in my book. Okay, so now we're going into some hips. This might be something you look at and say, not for me. So we have options for you. The one we always do that you're familiar with is sitting at the chair, putting your foot on your thigh, lifting your chest and leaning forward. That is the modified pigeon pose. This pigeon pose is much more intense. As I turn my chair this way so you can see how you get in and how you get out is kind of a personal thing. So what I want to do is have my foot on one side of the chair and my knee on the other side of the chair. So I can either approach it from the side, pardon my back, put my knee on the chair, bring my foot around, so now I have the knee on the chair, but I have this cushion that's kind of twisting. So I have my knee on the chair and my foot on the chair. I'm holding the chair back and I'm going to wiggle my other foot back. Then I sink my hip down below the seat of the chair. So if you can access this, it's lovely. I'm getting an opening through the front of my left thigh, and then I feel my right hip. So that might not be your thing. When you exit, you want to lean forward. You can bring your back foot up, and then use your hands to get off. So if you look at that and say, yeah, more than I want to do. So the knee goes to the other side, Ken, and the foot goes the other way. So your knee is left and your foot is right. There you go. Nice. Then lower down so you can step the foot back. So play with it. Yeah, so make sure the knee is out to the side. Now if you didn't have to turn sideways, you could place the knee on the left side for the left. And then step back or wiggle that foot back until you get sinking in your hips and lifting of your chest. So it's lovely, but it's not for everybody. So if you need to do the sit with the foot on the thigh, a little better than doing it on the floor. Go ahead, release, lean forward, bring the back leg up, and then as you're able, step out. So we'll do it one more time, just to kind of figure it out for those doing the chair. For those of you who did try it on the chair and just say, yeah, that's probably not one I want to do, you'll come and do your second one, sitting, lining yourself up, and leaning forward. Okay. If you've only done one side, because maybe you were taking a lot of time, because you thought it felt so good, you can stay a little longer. So we're going to do one more on each side. Make sure you do the right, make sure you do the left. So you see how my hip is hanging down below the seat of the chair, and I've gotten that space by moving my leg behind me back. But we're all made different, so do what you can. If you're sitting and leaning forward, make sure your back is nice and tall. Okay, do your second side if you haven't already. So once you've kind of figured it out, you can figure it out and then get there in a more quick fashion. Don't forget, you're getting the front of your hip as well, so try and lift your chest up. That's going to be tough for some of you. If you lean forward, that's fine. If you can, lift your chest up. Take 2 breaths. And then mindfully release from any variation you're doing. Ooh. And let's come to sit. So want to sit so that you can use your own core. We're going to make a little inward journey. We're going to see how our body is feeling here. If you need to use the back of the chair, do so. So as you sit with your eyes lowered, closed, or slightly closed, visualize your spine and it being an elevator, where the base of your spine is the basement and the top of your head will be the penthouse. And as you breathe, send the elevator from the basement to the penthouse. When it gets to the penthouse, let everybody out, let everybody in, and send it back down to the basement. Repeat that because the party's at the penthouse and everybody drove in and parked in the basement. So you're picking people up, lifting them up, taking them to the penthouse. Some people are getting out, some people are getting in, and you'll go back home. As you're doing this, notice if the body changes in response. For example, do you feel that as that elevator is going up that you might be sitting a wee bit taller? And that when the elevator goes down, are you collapsing a little bit? Not that you should, but just to notice if you are. So come to the first floor with your elevator. Once the elevator gets there and the doors open up your eyes. We're going to be back into our practice. So what we did for that moment was just recenter ourselves, give the body a chance to come back to homeostasis, as they call it. And so we're going to go to a plank position. Now we can do this at the edge of the chair, or you can do it in a modified way at the back of the chair. So we're going to stand. If you're going to use the back of the chair, here's your modified plank. So you will be more on the wrist, not the forearms. The elbows are in, the shoulders are down. You come, it just clicked. Yeah. And then lean forward. Don't we go to 12? We go to 11:45. Oh, I was thinking we had a whole hour. So I bend my elbows, my shoulders are down, my feet are back. So that's my one plank. So release from that. For those of you who want a little more challenge, you're going to use the seat of the chair. Again, shoulders are down. You'll be on your complete forearm, and you'll step back. So as I bend my knees, place my forearms on the seat of the chair. Keep my chin up. One foot goes back. Careful your shoulders don't hike up. Keep your shoulders down, and then lift my chest. So I'm not sinking and resting on the seat of the chair. I've seen this done. Don't let that be you. And you breathe. For those who would like a little more challenge, lift up 1 foot. For those of you who want a big challenge, lift up 2 feet. Leg is low and straight. So both legs are back in. Put both feet on the floor. Put both feet back. There you go. That's the plank. Now if you want to lift 1 foot a little, you can. There you go. If you did lift 1 foot, it might be prudent to lift the other foot as a balance. Keep breathing. Bring both feet down. Walk your feet forward if you're on the edge of the chair. Push yourself up and take a seat into the chair. Watch your blood pressure. So we took that opening and then we strengthened in through those shoulders. Okay. So now feel the difference in your body. We were very calm. Then we went and put some energy into the body. Now we're coming back to the calm. So you can use the back of the chair as you relax towards Shavasana. You can lay down on the floor and put your feet up on the chair. That's lovely. You can be like my mom and sit with your legs crossed in the chair. So now we come back to that calm, which shouldn't be too far away because it's in us all the time. So relaxing the jaw, not clenching the teeth. Some of you might like leaning out on your thighs. Now we do nothing with ourselves physically, and this might be one of the most challenging poses. As you sit doing nothing, the mind may perk up. Our practice in Shavasana is to keep that mind empty. So your practice maybe is to just be with your breath for a few moments. Wait until you hear the singing bowl and let this time be yours. And so you deepen your breath. You wiggle your fingers and toes. You stay very calm and relaxed, but open your mind to these thoughts for us today. The easiest thing in the world is to be you. The most difficult thing is to be what other people want you to be. Don't let them put you in that position. The urge to please is powerful, even when it pushes us to be someone we are not. When we try too hard to please, however, we usually fail to please anyone, not the person we're aiming to please, and certainly not ourselves. If people can't accept us for who we are, then we have to ask ourselves, why would we want to have a relationship with them to begin with? We should never have to be inauthentic to earn someone's love or respect. Thought then for us today, I am who I am. While I can always improve, I will not let anyone try to make me what they want me to be. So, with that said, move yourself to a seated position. Come and sit nice and tall, be that on the floor, or be that in your chair. Open the arms by the side. Take a breath, fill yourself with all the authenticity that is you. Bring the palms into the heart. And the light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you for popping in this morning. Oh, I see Katrin did make it today. So have a lovely day, whatever it is that you're going to do. Some of you I will see at Senior Fitness tomorrow at 10. Some of you next Monday at yoga. Be well, be safe. See you soon.